exploring Little Italy in Chicago, Illinois. Since the early 1900s, Little Italy has been a hotbed of culture and immigration in Chicago.
Here we are at UIC, which many consider is the center of Little Italy.
Little Italy, sometimes called University Village, is a neighborhood on the near west side of Chicago, Illinois. The current boundaries of Little Italy are Ashland Avenue on the west and Interstate 90/94 on the east, the Eisenhower Expressway on the north, and 18th Street to the south. At the center lies the University of Illinois at Chicago campus in the Illinois Medical District. The community is made up of diverse ethnic and economic backgrounds as a result of immigration, urban renewal, and gentrification. The Italian-American heritage is primarily evident in the Italian-American restaurants of Taylor Street. The neighborhood is home to the National Italian-American Sports Hall of Fame, as well as the historic and beautiful Roman Catholic churches, Our Lady of Pompeii, Notre Dame de Chicago, and Holy Family. Italians began arriving in Chicago in the 1850s in small numbers. By 1880, there were 1,357 Italians in the city. By the 1920s, Italian cookery became one of the most popular ethnic cuisines in America, spawning many successful bakeries and restaurants, some of which prospered for generations and continue to influence the Chicago dining scene today. By 1927, Italians owned 500 grocery stores, 257 restaurants, 240 pastry shops, and numerous other food-related businesses that were conducted in the Italian neighborhoods. Another thing that Little Italy is famous for is the Jenner crime family. Jenner crime family was a Prohibition-era family in Chicago that was headed by the six Jenner brothers. They were allies with the fellow Italian gang, the Chicago Outfit, and were involved in racketeering, extortion, bootlegging, and illegal gambling. The construction of the University of Illinois at Chicago and the Eisenhower Expressway both had major impacts on Little Italy. During the construction of the UIC campus, 200 businesses and 800 homes were bulldozed in Little Italy, with 5,000 residents displaced. The push for the development of the UIC campus and other urban projects had a profound effect on businesses in Little Italy. Some residents of Little Italy think this urbanization is a good thing, such as the woman in this next interview.
So what influence would you say that this neighborhood has had on this business?
A lot, because there's no Italian stores or any grocery stores around here unless you're a farmer.
So this is kind of like the main hub of Italian, like this is the main grocery store?
This is the last of the Little Italy.
Awesome. And have you lived in Little Italy all your life?
All my life.
All your life? And how has it changed since you...
For the better.
For the better?
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, before it was all family oriented, and now it's more commercial.
And that's a good change?
Oh yeah.
Awesome. All right.
But
Thank you.
Still I'm with some friends. But
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
While other residents have mixed feelings.
All right, so I'm here with the owner of Fontano's,
Neil Fontana.
Neil Fontano.
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So how has the neighborhood of Little Italy affected this business, would you say?
You mean recently now or
Yes.
in the last 50 years?
Or both, if that's okay.
Well, both would be prior to the university coming in, which would be prior to me, because I was born in 63.
Okay.
It was primarily Italians, grocery store, straight up groceries. You know, as the university came in, we had to evolve, and we had to start selling sandwiches because Italians weren't here as much. You know, so then we went from the late 60s, started selling sandwiches, and then we still had groceries at the time because there was still a neighborhood atmosphere here. Neighborhood atmosphere, in the definition of my neighborhood definition. You know, definition of my neighborhood was all Italians. You know, 99% everybody knew each other. Now it's a neighborhood, but it's more of a neighborhood in today's definition of a neighborhood. So there's not as many Italians here, so we had to go from groceries to more sandwiches now.
So is that how you say the university has most affected your business?
Yeah, it's affected the business to the fact where we've evolved and went from, groceries to primarily sandwiches. We do have our groceries, but in the same token, we have businesses, we have buildings in the area which, they call for a higher rent because there's a demand for them now, so students come in. So, You know, you're losing on one hand, but you're gaining on another. So we've done pretty well. We've done pretty well.
And how would you say that the neighborhood has changed since you've been living here?
Well, again, it's not in my definition of neighborhood, it's not a neighborhood.
Oh.
You know, I mean, when I walked around here when I was a kid, you know, when I was a teenager or high school, I went to Gordon Tech, Catholic League, you know, so, you know, when you walked around this neighborhood, you knew everybody. You know, everybody had brothers. So, you know, these four corners which we're on had different groups on each corner. The corner that we're at here had guys that when I was in my, 15, 16-year-old, my brother's group hung on this corner in front of the store. The church, which was across the street, was the older guys, 20, 21. My crew was directly across the street. So, we had, each crew probably could have had, 15 to 30 guys. So everybody kind of knew each other, and all brothers had brothers. So there were brothers in each group, so it was good back then. It's really good back then.
All right, I think that's all I need. Thank you, Mr.
All right,
Fontaine.
guys. All right, man.
Little Italy has been the subject of a huge gentrification process in the recent years. Gentrification is the process by which poor and working class neighborhoods in the inner city are refurbished by private capital and middle class homebuyers and renters. Many argue that the ethics of gentrification are questionable due to the process that often displaces the current residents. Italy is known for its food, and Little Italy is home to some fabulous restaurants where you will find gourmet food such as pasta, cannolis, and gelato. Overall, Little Italy remains an important part of our everyday life and is vital to preserving the Italian culture embedded in Chicago.